New and dangerous fronts have opened up in the war in the Middle East, with Iran striking a desalination plant in Bahrain, which is a blow to the region's freshwater supplies. And a US embassy has been attacked in Oslo, which, according to Norwegian police, may have been terrorism. Joining us live from the US is our US analyst, Michael Ware. Michael, a bit to talk to you about this morning, but we'll start with those developments. Has the US and Israel underestimated the response of Iran, do you think?
No, I don't think they have. This was easily anticipated, this kind of lashing out by the Iranians across the region, using the means at their hands, ballistic missiles and drones. What we hadn't seen until this week was the involvement of, some of their significant proxy forces. We've seen Iranian-backed groups in Iraq attack the US military base. We've seen them attack the Green Zone, what used to be called the Green Zone, and the US Embassy. Yeah. And now, only just recently, we've seen the Iranian-backed massive Hezbollah militia in southern Lebanon launch missiles into Israel to support their Iranian backer. So, yeah, their ability was expected and anticipated, and as much as possible, it's been countered.
OK. So there was a piece in the New York Times over the weekend, and it was quite an extensive summary sourced by 6 Iranian officials that it had spoken to. I want to get your thoughts on. So this was reportedly Ayatollah Khamenei's orders in the event of his death, and they were: 1, take steps to set the Middle East aflame; 2, appoint 4 layers of succession for military commanders and officials to make sure there is no power vacuum; 3, the plan to make war with Iran extremely costly, not just for the US and Israel, but also Arab countries, so tourist economies would be hit; and 4, expand the war's reach. Is all of that happening?
Well, to be honest, I could have written the stages of that plan. So could anyone in CENTCOM or Central Command in the US military, because that's precisely what they would do. And you and I have discussed before, we want to cut the head off the snake, but the snake is constantly ready to regenerate. Yeah. So 4 layers of replacements is standard operating procedure, because as someone's taken out, their subordinate is ready to step in. These organizations in Iran are built for loss, whether it's from the Supreme Leader on down. So no, none of that's a great surprise, and that's the plan that we would have anticipated.
Well, let's get to succession, because according to Reuters this morning, the Khamenei name will continue. How we read into that? Well, the expectation is that his son Mojtaba becomes the next Supreme Leader. If that is confirmed, what does that mean for Iran?
Well, it's very hard to read the tea leaves inside such an opaque system as the nomination of a new Supreme Leader in Iran. But if, in fact, it is the deceased Ayatollah's son, I don't think that bodes well. Why? Because there was opposition to him within the clerical organizations inside Iran. They don't want to see a succession by blood. They believe that it like the Pope in Rome, it shouldn't come down bloodlines. It should be chosen each time independently. But more importantly, I think, just from the outside and from the sources I've spoken to, his appointment would be a signal that the Revolutionary Guard Corps is still very much in power. Yeah. And is consolidating that power, because he's very much aligned with them. So I think he would be, for us, the worst of the possible choices. Yeah,
OK. We'll see if that does get confirmed in the next few hours, because according to Reuters, it will be. As we mentioned in the introduction, though, Oslo is hit. We've spoken about this over the weekend, Michael. Does that mean sleeper cells might have been awakened?
Well, in Oslo, we don't yet know. The Norwegians are not ruling out terrorism, but they're not saying that it is terrorism. Incendiary device outside the public entranceway to the American embassy in Oslo. That said, mate, the Iranians have sleeper cells all over the world, including in Australia. I mean, we've had accusations that Iranian agents were inflaming anti-Semitic activities in Australia. These guys have been launching or conducting assassinations across Europe for decades. They've attempted bombings in France that were intercepted. And here, just in North America, I can tell you, for more than 2 decades, I've been obsessed with the Iranian embassy in Mexico City, because that's Iran's largest listening base in North America, the closest to the United States, and the place from which it can direct all sorts of activities with sleeper cells or with agents that they activate or recruit now, or even with the use of cutouts, employing criminals or others to do what they want without the criminals or the others even knowing they work for Iran. So yes, it's something that the US intelligence community has been warning about since before this began, and especially since this war has begun.
So there might well be more of those. If that turns out to be true, as Michael pointed out, we're still waiting to get a confirm on what caused it, but it may have been terrorism, according to Norwegian police, as we just said. Michael Ware, always good to talk to you.